USD 435 update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine. Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine will get you back in the game. Century Business Systems. Century Business Systems provides local service, competitive pricing, and simplified solutions for all of Abilene's copier and printer needs. Rivendell Bookstore, Abilene's only new and used bookstore, supporting USD 435 and its surrounding community. Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab. At Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab, wellness is your goal and our mission. You're more than a patient, you're family. Reynolds Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Call Reynolds Real Estate at 263-7151 to speak to our professional realtors today. The Brian Teichman Agency in Abilene. Come see the Brian Teichman Agency in Abilene for all your insurance coverage under one roof. Pursue your dreams, we'll protect them. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Well, welcome to USD 435 Update. We're glad you're here, and we have a special treat for you today. We're going to take you inside the construction zone at Abilene High School. And I have here with me the construction superintendent, Jack Austin. He represents Coonrod and Association, and actually he is the man behind this building. He's the one that controls and manipulates all of the subs so that we have the building that we have. I thought maybe it might be fun for you to hear from him when the plan is to have the project completed and a couple other things. So Jack, when is the plan to have the project completed?
Well, substantially by the time school starts, but there'll be some technical issues, of course, with the auditorium that will linger into the first few months after school starts. But it'll be occupiable.
Occupiable when school starts?
Yes.
When do you foresee the auditorium being able to be used?
When school starts.
When school starts, okay.
Yeah, seating will be in place. Architecturally, it'll be able to be used.
Okay, very good. And for the community, what can they expect to see happen on the outside of this building this summer? Once the students have gone home for the summer, what's going to happen at this location?
Well, the site work, that'll be quite a change. We'll finish tearing out the existing asphalt parking lot and bring in quite a few yards of dirt yet, build it up to the new elevation and put sidewalks, curb and gutter.
Okay. And again, the plan is to take over Walnut Street, which is the street that right now divides the middle school and the high school, and that will become parking, correct?
Correct.
All the way through, so that the middle school and the high school parking lot will be conjoined into one large parking lot.
Yes, they'll get the big parking lot back.
What has been the biggest challenge so far out here?
Oh, the biggest challenge?
Other than the superintendent.
No. Everybody's been good to work with. I don't know, it's just a lot of pieces putting this together. I mean, architecturally, it blends in good with the existing building, and it just, takes time, and weather hasn't really been a problem.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate there, haven't we? So.
I mean, there's some challenges with the existing building and the renovation work and tying into. That's probably been the biggest challenge, is tying into the existing building.
The community has heard through the newspaper about some asbestos issues, and we've had to work through those as well. So, but anyway, I just thought maybe you'd like to see the man behind the scenes here that's making this all happen. And again, it's Jack Austin. And he's been wonderful to work with, and we're going to have a great product from this guy. You've got lots of experience. I know you did the Alumni Center over in Manhattan, and some other major construction projects in the Manhattan area. So we've got a guy with experience right here. So thanks, Jack, for being here.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, we're back, and now I have with us the principal of Abilene High School, Ben Smith, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the safety features that we've put into place in this project. Ben?
Well, we were planning out what we wanted to do. One of our major considerations was student and visitor flow through the school. And so one of the things that we are very pleased that's going to happen here is that in this area where we're standing right now, this is the entrance foyer. This will be the main entrance to the high school when all the construction is done. And 100% of all the entrance into the school from 8 o'clock until 3 o'clock will occur right in this area. So all the other doors will automatically lock down as soon as school starts, and for visitors to come in, they have to come in through this entrance. And so visitors will see a set of glass doors right behind where we are right now. It's not in yet, but this is where it will be. And when they go through those doors, they'll meet another set of doors, and those will be locked from the outside. And so all the traffic will have to funnel into the main office, which is just to our left here. And they'll have to check in and will not be released into the other part of the school until they've signed in and we've determined that it's okay for them to be here.
Great. And so we're looking down the corridor, so when they walk in, they'll see down the corridor of the new construction zone. But if you're a visitor, you'll be directed into the office immediately.
Right.
Okay.
And so, we'll have a sign-in sheet, we'll have stickers for visitors, and we'll make sure we get everybody where they need to go from there. What I like to tell people is that, especially with the current building, there's no real intuitive main entrance. And so I just direct people to go to the flagpole entrance. And so that's going to be the same. In that, we'll have a flagpole entrance here, and the flag out front will be taken down and replaced with one here. So if ever anybody needs to figure out which entrance to get to, it's always going to be the flagpole entrance to the high school.
All right, thank you. We'll head on into the office now.
Very good. Okay, we're in the main office now of what will be the administrative area of Abilene High School. And in the last segment, we talked about the entrance into the main office and how that's the thoroughfare to get to the rest of the building. That area is just to my left, so visitors will come in through the door here that's in between the two main foyer doors, and they'll be met by both the secretaries here in the main office. And just to my right here is the new nurse's office. She'll have plenty of storage, nice private area for students that she needs to work with, as well as a dedicated handicap restroom stall. And then as you keep on looking down the main entrance into the office here, and that far in there is the principal's office. That's where I will be. And then next to me, as you move east, is Mr. Burton's office as the assistant principal and athletic director. And also in that area, we have a conference room. So we'll have a nice climate-controlled conference room, which is really the first time we've had one in this building. And then also in that area, there's a teacher workroom. So teachers will be able to make copies and work on things that need to be worked on in there. And that's where the mailroom will be. And so this is, in many ways, the new Nerf center to the new high school. This is our new auxiliary gym at Abilene High School. For the most part, this is where a lot of the freshman or JV matches for volleyball and basketball will take place. There'll be some in the main gym too, of course, but this area is going to allow us to get a lot more games in more quickly simply because of location. In past years, the games that would have taken place over at the middle school, especially on competition nights, will now take place here in this gym. So progress has been pretty quick in this part of the building. Just last week, all the basketball hoops that you see were installed. In the ceiling, you'll see drop-down volleyball nets that have also been installed. And the scoreboards are up on the walls too. That's really just in the last couple days. There'll be a set of bleachers here along the side that we're standing on. And when we have basketball games, for example, on the far side, for what you see here is where the teams and the scoreboard will be, where the scorekeeper will be. And then the colors in here are going to be some nice bright oranges. We've got a nice base color in here that we're going to build off of, but it's going to be very much the symbol of Abilene High School in terms of the colors for the Cowboys and Cowgirls. We are currently looking at the new auditorium of Abilene High School. We're up on the catwalk right now, which really gives you a sense of how big this room is. This will soon be an 800-seat auditorium. It's supposed to be the largest in Dickinson County. And they're just getting ready to, within the next few days, lay the concrete flooring that's going to be necessary to get the seating in here. Directly under us is where a bulk of the seating will be, and that's actually an inclined floor area. And again, this is all going to be concreted in here before a few days. So within a couple weeks, this building is going to look much more ready to handle seating. We heard Jack tell us earlier that by the time school opens, this area will be able to be used and we plan on using it as soon as we can. As of this point, the ceiling is still yet to be put in. It's still very industrial looking right now, but by the time it is all done, it'll be very acoustically sound, and it's going to be a great venue for the performing arts at Abilene High School and for those visiting our community. And on this side, we're now looking at the stage. We're still up on the catwalk, and if I understand correctly, that stage entrance that you see there is actually the width that the old auditorium itself used to be. And so just to give you a sense of how big this room is, the other auditorium could fit within the entrance to that stage. And choir teacher and band director are very much excited for this to open up to be able to use, especially as big as our programs are growing. To have this extra space is tremendous. The front of the stage looks like it's incomplete, but that's actually an orchestra pit cover. And if the situation calls for it, we can remove the front of the stage, which will expose the pit orchestra beneath it so that the sound can escape and fill the auditorium. So any performances that needed that, we've got that availability. If we're not using a pit orchestra, that is simply extra stage space from what is already a substantial stage area. A question we've been asked a lot lately is the new gym in comparison to the old gym, how do you get from one to the other? Well, right now we're standing not too far in from the main entrance of the high school. And if someone wanted to come in on a game night, they'd come in this entrance here that we were just at and then head off to the right. And through that corridor there, about 40 feet in, gets you into the old gym. It's our main competition gym. That's going to stay the same. It's going to look a little different, but the design space is still the same. And then, just across this commons area, gets you to the new gym. In years past, you would have had to gone all the way to the middle school, go in a different entrance, battle the elements sometimes, and here we can do the same thing just by walking about 40 or 50 feet. So the entrances are really, really close to each other now.
Well, you just were able to see the new auditorium, so we thought it might be fitting to bring you up to what the old auditorium looks like now. It has been converted into a multi-purpose room, and at this point in time we have our weights classes up here because the weight room right now is in a process of being reworked, brings me to another point. Mr. Smith, tell me about all the different transitions and moves that are going to have to occur this summer in order for all of these things to happen throughout the summer.
Okay, there's a lot of things going to happen outside of public view until it's all done. For example, we've got 2 elevators that are being put in, and so we're replacing a lift with an elevator and then adding a brand new elevator shaft. We saw the main office earlier. The current main office is going to be converted into a classroom.
Okay.
And we have a new counselor suite at the north end of the building. And so where the counselors used to be for many years, that's also going to be converted into a classroom this summer. And this room that we're in right now, the weights from here will be moved down into a new weight room, which currently is going to be remodeled. It's the old weight room and the old wrestling room combined together into a brand new weights area. And so because we're able to move a lot of things up into here, like wrestling, we're able to repurpose the space downstairs for a bigger weight room. So this old auditorium gave us a lot of square footage to use for a variety of things, and so this is going to be the new wrestling room. Like you said earlier, it's a multi-purpose room where we can have batting practice in here for baseball and softball. Dance and cheer will be able to practice in here. Kids Club Wrestling can come in here at night. Off out this way, there's an entrance that's dedicated just to this room where the rest of the school is still blocked off, and so we can isolate this part of the building for use for outside activities.
Good. And are there restroom facilities then that would be accessible from this room?
Down in that direction is where the stage used to be. Okay. There'll be a couple restrooms there and some locker room type areas that'll eventually be changing areas, let's say, not necessarily locker rooms. And then also the old stage area is going to be reconverted and repurposed into storage space for band. An area that we didn't see earlier when we were in the auditorium is that there's a new choir room. So the current choir room is going to be repurposed for extra space for instrumental music. Okay. And so that area is going to look a lot different as well. And so a lot of things have to happen moving wise before the school year even starts. And so for example, we can't start reconverting the current office into a classroom until everything from there is moved down into the new office. And the new office has to be finished for that can happen, and then there's a domino effect that takes place for things to be moved over the summer.
So you'll begin moving the office right away when school gets out. And I don't know if the community is aware, we are getting out on May 25th rather than May 26th. And May 26th will be the date that we use our staff force to do a lot of this transitioning in preparation for the construction in the summertime.
Yeah, and there's going to be logistical planning that I go through with Mr. Burton and with Scott Jenny, who's our head custodian. And we're going to figure out the best way to get teachers who are moving into different locations to their new spots, to get a bunch of materials from the current office to the new office. And so it's going to be a busy beehive as we get, really as soon as kids exit for the summer.
Okay, very good. One of the things that I've noticed and I just need to make note of is our students have been fabulous. They have really just worked through the parking transitions from the beginning of the year, and you know, there's places in the hallways where they can't go because of the construction, and they're just really working hard to. They're excited about it, I think. So. Yeah,
and they knew this was coming ever since last year. And you know, we'd been talking about changes in parking when this year's seniors, beginning of their junior year. And so when it finally came in, they'd been hearing about it for years, so they knew what was going on. And we've had some great community involvement too. Right. Kurt Wassenberg has been with us almost every single morning, helping kids get across 14th Street in the mornings. You know, he is there regardless of the weather. He's there when it was dark out before the time change, and then when the sun is right there in driver's eyes, he's there to help keep our kids safe as they cross the street to come to school.
And a lot of people have asked about the parking, and they're concerned about there not being the same amount of parking. But where we're taking over Walnut Street, it is the exact same amount of parking that we had previous to the bond issue.
Right. So. The old parking lot, if you look at the number of spaces that were available, which was perfectly adequate for our size student population, everything is just shifting to the west now. And so what used to be Walnut and Grassed In area where the creek was, that's all being required now for parking all the way up to the base of the hill just east of the middle school. So the parking is still there, it's just going to be shifted to the west.
Right. What else do you have? I know our staff too, they have been tremendous. I know that Coach Simpson, he had to move all of this equipment up here, and the students helped him, and that was quite a feat.
And they got it done in about a day.
And they did it, and you know, so shout out to all of the staff and the students for putting up with all this construction, and the community. It's been, you know, been a challenge for the community. They can't use Mulberry like they used to, and those kinds of things. So we just really appreciate people's patience and understanding, and I think it's a very exciting time for Abilene schools. And I think in August we'll be able to unveil some of the finished product.
Yeah, and you know, when it's all said and done, I'm sure we're going to have some open house nights and some dedications and a chance for the community to come through and really see what all the work and all the fuss has been about, and I think they're going to be amazed.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So anything else you have for the community?
Well, just ask for continued patience through the summer as we get going, and you know, the things that we're going to be able to do with our students here in terms of performing arts, in terms of safe environment, in terms of extra space for activities is going to be really, really great when it's all said and done. And so just that continued patience through the rest of the summer, and as soon as August gets here and we start up with school again in mid-August, it's not going to be completely done. We heard from Jack earlier, but we're going to be really, really close at that point.
Right.
And so by the time concert seasons roll around and those things, everything is going to be ready to go and in hopefully perfect working order.
Very good, very good. So a big shout out to the community and thank them for the opportunity to have this bond issue. And I believe that's all we have for USD 435 update.
USD 435 update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine. Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine will get you back in the game. Century Business Systems. Century Business Systems provides local service, competitive pricing, and simplified solutions for all of Abilene's copier and printer needs. Rivendell Bookstore, Abilene's only new and used bookstore, supporting USD 435 and its surrounding community. Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab. At Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab, wellness is your goal and our mission. You're more than a patient, you're family. Reynolds Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Call Reynolds Real Estate at 263-7151 to speak to our professional realtors today. The Brian Teichman Agency in Abilene. Come see the Brian Teichman Agency in Abilene for all your insurance coverage under one roof. Pursue your dreams. We'll protect them. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.